Hello everyone. Welcome to the Digitech Dialogue. I am Arpit Gupta. The Digitech Dialogue series is an initiative of ET Government, the Economic Times. This is an interactive show with bureaucrats on different milestones in their digital transformation journey. In this series, senior government officials give an insight of digital innovations and use of new technologies by their department or ministry. Today, on behalf of ET Government, the Economic Times, I welcome Dr. Chandrasekhar Kumar, Additional Secretary, Ministry of Panchayati Raj, Government of India, as our esteemed guest for the Digitech Dialogue. It is indeed a great pleasure to meet you and have you on today's show, sir.
Right. Thank you very much for inviting me here, and I look forward for interacting with you and share my ideas and visions and also take feedback for the way forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. For the audience, Dr. C.S. Kumar is a 1992 batch Indian Administrative Service Officer of Odisha cadre. He has done BTech in Civil Engineering from Indian Institute of Technology, Bombay, MPA from Harvard University, and PhD in Economics from Cornell University, New York. I once again welcome you, Dr. Kumar. My first question to you is, how are you aligning with the Government of India's Digital India program? What has been the progress of e-Panchayats in last 7 years? Over to you.
Before going to that topic, let me just give a brief background for 2-3 minutes on how the panchayats system work. So basically, this whole Panchayati Raj system came out of 73rd Amendment, Constitutional Amendment in 1992, and that came into force in 1993. So what that thought that conceptualized for 3-tier governance of at the panchayat level, Gram Panchayat, Block Panchayat, and Jila Panchayat, as institutions of local self-governance. So when I say institutions of local self-governance, means they are just another tier of government, just like a central government, state government. Similarly, they have, so these are also a type of government. So they have, so if some institution is a government, so intrinsically they have the planning power, they have implementation authority, and the monitoring authority of various developmental and social welfare activities. Also, they have taxation power also. So this whole thing actually started 93, and being panchayat a state subject, the constitution gave authorities to the states to devolve the powers, authorities, and responsibilities to the panchayats by bringing suitable enactments at a state level. So that's how the journey started, and so the progress is quite varied. Many states have given various types of authorities and powers and responsibilities to the panchayats. And if you kindly recall, now even the Finance Commission is now directly sending money from the taxation pool of India. So in this 15th Finance Commission, there is a provision for more than 2.6 lakh crore rupees to be sending directly to the panchayats of the various tiers. So if we have 2.6 lakh Gram Panchayat and another 6,000 block panchayats and another 7,700 district panchayats, so each panchayats may be receiving 50 lakh to few crores of rupees depending on the size of panchayat per year. So this is the size of flow of fund, and this is the responsibility and accountability we expect. So, and when this sort of responsibility, accountability is expected, of course, in this digital age, it has to be all the plan, right from the planning to implementation, monitoring has to be done digitally. And that's why your digital, this digital governance is extremely important. And that is the backbone of the functioning of the panchayats, at least since last 3-4 years. So just I'll take another 2 minutes. What is the core of that e-governance? So as I told, being institutions of local self-governance, they have to make plans for their developmental projects. So now each panchayat prepares their own plan, like GPD, Gram Panchayat Development Plan, Block Development Plan, Jila Development Plan. And this planning is not done by sitting in a drawing room or somewhere. It is the process starts right from the 2nd October when the people participation campaign is launched. And then after a lot of consultation with people, the planning is prepared, and all this GPDP is uploaded is now transparent. Anybody can visit our eGram Swaraj. That is the workhorse. That is the workhorse of the digital governance of the Ministry of Panchayati Raj. All the plannings which is done is uploaded all the 2.6 lakh panchayats. They are uploaded here on the eGram Swaraj. And of course, you can question the quality of the planning and whether they are able to cover all the subjects, like the 29 subjects which have been enjoined upon them, right from the agriculture, primary education, health, secondary education, social welfare, and public distribution system, and various issues. So I will say that we have not yet covered the full mile. So it's not that all the panchayats are doing planning for all the 29 subjects, but all the panchayats are doing planning. The number of subjects to be covered is improving year by year. So that's what is the initial response to your question.
Thank you, Dr. Kumar, for highlighting the digital India journey of Ministry of Panchayati Raj. Sir, a total of rupees 913 crore has been provided to the Ministry of Panchayati Raj in budget 21-22, which marks 32% increase over the revised estimate of 2020-2021. So how is it being utilized? The big budget, the big chunk of budget is being given to the Ministry of Panchayati Raj. Over to you.
So just I told earlier, the panchayats being a state subject, so most of the developmental fund directly flows from the Finance Commission. It is not going through the ministry scheme, and also through the state government budgets, and also through various central government ministry, their departmental budgets. So this RGSA fund is mostly 70 to 80% is utilized for capacity building of the panchayats. So there are more than 30 lakh elected representatives in more than 3 lakh bodies of the elected panchayats. So what we do, we try to give them various sorts of trainings, these 31 lakh people, elected representatives, and try to build their capacity on various issues like e-governance, like how you can generate your own revenue, like primary education, like sanitation, drinking water, or we have various SDG goals. So that is our main goal. So this RGSA fund, 80-90% goes on in giving trainings, and these trainings are imparted by SIRD, State Institute of Developments, and supervised by NIRD, the National Institute of Rural Development. And we also try to set the priority and see how things are moving. So most of the fund is going on the training and capacity building of the elected representatives. Also, some part we are trying to strengthen the panchayats, like giving them computer, net connectivity, digital governance, and various other infrastructural support. So one thing I also add here, see, all the panchayats are being covered under the BharatNet program. So what BharatNet program idea is, we have to cover all 2.6 lakh panchayat under broadband fiber technology connectivity. And so far, the progress may not be very excellent. So far, around 1 lakh panchayats have been covered. And we are interacting with the MIT department, others. So hopefully by 2022 end, all the panchayats will be connected on board. So till the time they are doing their own digital, like various sorts of, connectivity they are doing.
Thank you, sir. You talked much about the technology use of e-governance. So my next question to you is, how significant is technology and its adoption in overall vision of the Panchayati Raj Ministry?
Just we discussed, the eGram Swaraj is the workhorse of the e-governance of the backbone of the whole our Panchayat system. So we are adding various modules on that. So now after the planning, the fund flow is there. So now fund flow also now we are doing strictly on the digital mode through PFMS. So now from this year, it is mandatory. So all panchayat fund flow can be digitally seen. Also utilization of fund, payment of the vouchers, sending advice for the work done for vouchers and all, they will also be done on PFMS digitally. So this year we are making mandatory. Also audits of the panchayat, we are all putting on the online. So audit online system we are trying to place. So far, I think 50,000 panchayats are on board. And our target is by 2022 March end, all the panchayats will be brought under audit online. So everything, we are trying to make the things transparent, because see, the 2.6 lakh panchayats, ministry sitting here, they cannot see on emails and Excel sheet. It is not possible. So it's better to have a digital dashboard sort of application or mobile application, and we are trying to do that. Another thing we are adding on the service plus. So a lot of now, these days the service delivery. Thus, we talk about service delivery to the people at the doorstep. So now this is another goal, how we can deliver large number of services to the people digitally, like various sorts of certificates, birth certificate, death certificates, land revenue certificates, your land certificates, your various metric and other certificates, and various other, your cleanliness, street lights, all those services, how best we can deliver. So we are trying to bringing everything digitally on the dashboard. Hopefully in another quarter, this will be on board.
Thank you, Dr. Kumar. You talked initially about the Rashtriya Gram Swaraj Abhiyan scheme, RGSA. How are your major initiatives part of the current fiscal, like RGSA scheme and Swamit, are taking place?
So RGSA, I told most of the is going on capacity building of our elected representatives. Now Swamitwa is a very new program launched. It was launched in a pilot mode last year only. It's barely 1 year old program. I don't think it is a year old program, hardly 8-10 months. And now it has become a national program. Honorable Prime Minister has launched in this budget as a all India program. So all the states will be covered by 2025. And till date, more than 20 states have signed MOU. And so far, we have covered 50,000 villages. So our technical partner here is Survey of India. So they are engaging drones, and they are conducting survey in the field. And the state government, through the Panchayati Raj officials, revenue officials, they are facilitating, like making available all the plots, Suna marking, and original land records, and all those things. And so far, 50,000 villages have been covered, and 7,000 village record distribution has also been completed. And our goal is to cover this year, by March end 2022, to cover at least 1 lakh villages, and by 25 to cover all the 5 lakh, more than 6 lakh villages in the Swamitwa program.
Sir, since your ministry is enabling this electronically distribution of property cards, Sampatti Patrak, that's called in Hindi, under the Swamit scheme to the property holders. Since the subject are local government subjects, so do you see any dispute and conflicts between Panchayati Raj and local body governments?
See, ministry is functioning only as an facilitating and advisory. Our technical partner is Survey of India, and most of the work is being done by state government, because it is a state subject. The Panchayat is a state subject, land is a state subject. So all the works being done by the state government officials, we are only facilitating them. Also, every state is coming out with their own rules and act amendments for preparing the property card. So because every state has land acts are different, like Bihar has different, UP has different, Haryana is different. So many states are coming with their own rules and amendments, and based on all their rules and amendments, every state has their own specific property card format. So we are not designing any property card format. What will be? It's a state specific, and states are taking responsibility for designing it, for approving it, and for distributing it. And also these are being put in the DigiLocker. So it's purely a state endeavor. We are here to facilitate and support them.
Thank you, Dr. Kumar. Sir, as you see, the country is reeling under the unprecedented crisis of Corona. So how the ongoing works and schemes of your ministry has been suffered from this pandemic?
So actually now Corona is a very is a sensitive matter for all of us. Now we are trying to, now we are engaging with the panchayats and states to how to ensure that this Corona management is done robustly and scientifically at the panchayat level, so that the people get at least minimum services right at their doorsteps, like sanitation services, like detection, testing, quarantine services. So now we are trying to talk to the states, and many states have already addressed the issues. Many states panchayats are now setting up COVID care quarantine centers in the panchayat itself, that storing the COVID kits. They are facilitating the testing centers, and also in coming days, these panchayats will facilitate for vaccination. So at least now we are preparing the panchayats for the next wave, so that in the next wave, the villages and panchayats, they do not suffer. So the preparation is going on in quite intensively. So now we're preparing for that.
Sir, I would also like to understand going forward, what are your priorities for the current fiscal?
Our first goal is to bring all panchayats on the 100% on the PFMS module, so that all the payments are done digitally on PFMS platform. That is one. Trying to do complete audit online system of all the panchayats, so that audit reports of all the panchayats are done online. Also, we are trying to bring digital tagging of the assets on Gram Manchitra, so that all the work done there with the financial accountability, they are on the dashboard. That is one part. Another part, we are trying to make our panchayats COVID management foolproof, so that in the next, whenever if the third wave comes or any other waves comes, the panchayats are prepared at least to handle at local levels the minimum basic services they can provide to the people. So that is COVID management is another our priority in this fiscal. And also we are another priority, of course, is Swamitva, trying to at least achieve this year cover 1 lakh villages, complete the drone survey, and at least distribute 25,000 property cards in the village. Because see, there is a gap. After drone flying, it takes another 4 or 5 months time for preparation of the property cards. So even we cover 1 lakh villages drone survey, but property distribution, we can reach up to 50,000 this financial year. So, and of course, the capacity building of our elected representatives. And these are the few things, the key priorities in this fiscal.
Right, sir. My last question to you is, as you earlier talked that Ministry of Panchayati Raj has requested states to set up suitable interdepartmental monitoring mechanism comprising of officers of Panchayati Raj, rural development, health, revenue, WCD department, education, and other departments and block, district, and state level to regularly monitor the functioning of the Gram Panchayats. What challenges do you see in operating these kind of facilitation centers?
So
because a lot of intra-departmental coordination is required.
So actually, that is the real challenge we are facing. So this ministry real challenge is to ensure that the states devolve the functions as per the 73rd amendment to the panchayats. And as in my opening remark, I told, the progress is quite varied. Some states are really good, like Kerala and even West Bengal and Maharashtra or Karnataka, but some states are still not up to the mark. So the states which are not doing so well on the devolution, we are trying to work out with them and trying to build their capacity, trying to help them in devolving more functions to the panchayats, and before that, trying to build the capacity of the panchayats. And we are at least trying to do convergence of the sustainable development goals. Well, there were 7 to 8 subjects which are critical for our preference, like primary education, like health, primary health, like hunger, midday meals, Anganwadi centers, and all those public distribution system. So these are the drinking water, sanitation. So these are few things which are very critical for functioning of panchayats. So our first goal is to talk to these ministries, talk to the states, and see that how these all services, minimum these 7-8 services are converged, and panchayats are enabled to deliver, monitor, and implement these services. So hopefully we will make some progress in coming days.
One last question, sir. Do you see this public health issue has to be accommodated in the Panchayati Raj Ministry's agenda now?
The 73rd amendment, there are 29 subjects, as I told. So in 29 subjects, it is one of the subjects: health, sanitation, including hospitals, primary health centers, and dispensaries, family welfare. So these are the subjects covered under 29 subjects. And many states have given the authority to the panchayats in various grades. And many states have yet to give adequate powers to the panchayats. So this is a subject, and hopefully if the panchayats are enabled and panchayat can work in collaboration with the local authorities, I think the better services can be provided to the people.
Many things have been done, but a lot has to be still done. That is what gist of our conversation is. Thank you, Dr. Chandrasekhar Kumar. It was really a great interaction with you. Our sincere thanks to you for accepting our invitation and making today's show wonderful. We wish you all the best for your future endeavors.
Thanks a lot for giving me this opportunity to sharing my views with us, and hopefully, let's hope we make some change, progress in coming days.
Thank you, Dr. Kumar. The Digitech Dialogue series is an initiative of ET Government, the Economic Times. This is an interactive show with bureaucrats on different milestones in their digital transformation journey. Senior government officials give an insight of digital innovations and use of technologies by their department or ministry. Each week, we present a new guest and discuss the digital transformation journey and a future roadmap for digital India. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.